Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the 2025 AFL Trade Period here on the Blue Broad YouTube channel. This is Trade TV. We are going through absolutely everything every day, recapping you the day that was and looking ahead to the day that will be tomorrow. Every single night, 6 p.m. until the end of Trade Period, which is next Wednesday, the 15th of October. Last night was a great start. I think that set the tone for Trade Period. Big thanks to Pommy for jumping on and getting involved. And we chipped away at the end, and then we got him to maybe let go of that last little bit of emotion and frustration left in him. But thanks to everyone who tuned in last night. Hope you enjoyed the format. Tonight, we're going to be as efficient as possible. Tonight, I'm going to get you involved. Tonight, at about 6:30, I'm going to post the link in the chat, and then we're going to get your thoughts. So have a watch of what's to come between now and about 6:30, and then we will get you involved. And we can finish at 6:30, we can finish at 7, we can finish a little later. But what we will do is we will go through absolutely everything that happened today. And we start off with a trade, an actual trade, a genuine trade happened. So I am going to just go through this here. So we've got Liam Reidy. This was put on the table a few months ago. It makes sense, Tom de Koning leaving, but the reality is this: Liam Reidy will be a Carlton player, and the Blues will receive him. We will receive pick 53, and we will receive pick 71 in exchange for pick 50 and 68. So a marginal change there in terms of draft capital and draft points. But obviously we are getting the player, and we are filling up the ruck stocks. This is a guy that's going to now complement Mark Pitternet, Hudson O'Keefe on the list. So we'll have 3 rucks, 2 of which I would say are ready to play AFL football. Pito's already playing AFL football. Liam Reidy is ready to play more AFL footy. He's here for opportunity. So I did a video on this earlier today, and Liam Reidy had some really interesting quotes just around, I guess, the frustration that he was feeling being at Fremantle, being on a list, and being in a squad where he had the likes of Sean Darcy, who is obviously on a pretty big deal himself, and they've invested pretty heavily, Fremantle, in Darcy. And then obviously Luke Jackson as well. So it was always going to be tricky for him to get a game in that system. He did play early in the year against the Cats down at GMHBA, granted mostly as a forward. Jackson played as the sole ruck that day, or as the main ruck, I should say, that day. So Liam Reidy joins the club. I am going to guess that we're going to see some club media from him maybe tonight, probably tomorrow. So you can stay tuned for that. What were your reactions of Liam Reidy? Let me know in the chat. I'll get some of your reactions here. Hello, Wordy. Good to see you, mate. We gave up literally nothing for him. Yeah. Joel, good to see you, mate. Look, if Liam Reidy becomes anything close to Lloyd Meek, then we will look back on this deal very fondly. I'm not going to go that far just yet. I'm going to let the playing do the talking. Explicit Empress, hello. You've already done his birth chart, I'm assuming. I think he's got the great energy. Okay. Only Carlton, hello, mate. And welcome to, I mean, you've been on YouTube, but like welcome to YouTube in terms of creating content. Good to have you around. We got a great deal. I can't believe we got picks back. Yeah. Solid deal there. Wowdy, good evening to you. He moves like Nankervis from the Tigers. Yeah, I'll play some highlights of him here. I won't play the full highlights of him. Let's do this. Got no sound. Is that going to work? It's probably not going to work. How about this? I'll play some highlights for you. And then while I'm playing the highlights, I can get your thoughts on Liam Reidy. So thanks as always to Carlton Blues fans, who really is the godsend for footage. So yeah, share with me in the comments. What did you think of Liam Reidy?
They'll run for it. There's Reidy. Reidy! Liam Reidy! With the snap on the left, and all of a sudden, Frankston have a buffer.
Now handballs to Emmett. Emmett gives it back to Smith. Smith just floats a mongrel out to the pocket. Reidy's good enough to get into the space and take the mark. It's going to be.
I don't mind this for a kick, not going to lie.
Reidy runs around, fires off on his favoured left. He's done it. And the Thunder have really come out. And
high kick from Murphy. Begley. McLaughlin from the side. Reidy the crumb. Bounces it goalward and bounces it through.
Might be putting Ryan on him. Ryan on him for the last 2.5 minutes. Well, now the Dockers just need to roll.
Was that a throw by middle? Hand pass to the call. Reidy, what's he like off the left? The ruckman, he needs a Shepard. He gets it. Wow, the tall timber showing his dexterity. That was more akin to what we'd see across at the netball courts, I would have thought.
Yes, that was a shocker.
We'll test him.
He is a lefty. Another big man with AFL interest. And you can see why.
Perfect.
You can see why. Beautiful finish.
And that is Colin O'Riordan.
27th possession coming.
Oh, and it's a shocker. He's tried to kick it over top of 7 foot. And he did. Liam Reidy certainly did. And he lines up now. He runs in and kicks from 40 metres out. And it holds its line enough. And he gets his first goal in VFL football. And they do come.
So create some options and be good enough to hit a target. They set some blocks, Clark to Sharp. It's Reidy the ruck who wants it out the back. It's a good kick to advantage. He needs to mark. He does, but can't really go quick.
And he lays the tackle. Was that high? Umpire said no. It came to Reidy. And the big ruckman had a snap on.
So that is Liam Reidy. I love the glaze already. He's better than TDK. Look, what I like most about him is he's got a desperation and a hunger to play senior football because he's been, he's had to wait for his opportunity. So the more guys who have that mentality on the list, I think the better. So that's Liam Reidy. He is officially a Carlton player. We'll touch on Charlie Curnow. The latest updates on Charlie Curnow. They come via the Sydney list manager. His name is Chris Keane. He was on Trade Radio earlier this morning. There's 2 bits here that I want to touch on. The first part here is around the conversation that Sydney have had with Carlton and the depths to where it's gone to. And then the second part I want to play is the conversation around what are Sydney willing to give up. And I think once you hear both these clips, we might start getting a few more clues, because obviously with everything being made public, they don't want to give away too much information. But I do think there are some clues that get left as we hear these conversations play out publicly. So this is part 1, and the crux of this part is really around the conversations between Sydney and Carlton on day 2 of the trade period.
Appreciate these are preliminary talks largely at the moment, but what we obviously can say with certainty is that your club has an interest in Charlie Curnow, the contracted dual Coleman medalist at the Blues. What level of conversation have you had with Nick Austin and Carlton?
Oh, look, it's been pretty limited at this stage, to be honest, Sam. And you're right, we do have an interest in bringing Charlie into the footy club. But as I said yesterday, we acknowledge that he's contracted and there's some complexities that lie within that. So we've got a bit to work through, and we'll use the next week or so to do that, hopefully.
In the conversations that you've had with Charlie and or his management, why do you think you have some appeal to him as a potential new home?
It's a good question, and you might need to ask Charlie that to get a bit more insight into it. From my perspective, I think the location and probably the football club itself is appealing, and that's probably something that's been communicated through his management. We feel like we've got a really strong list that's up and coming, and we feel like we can challenge and contend in finals for the next hopefully a little while. So, but for further info, you'd probably have to get in touch with Charlie.
So you've got a star player that wants to come to your footy club.
he wants out of his current club. History would say that these deals usually get done, Chris, but this one feels reasonably complicated. I mean, what's the level of confidence that in the next week or so you can pull this off?
Yeah, you're probably on the money, and I suppose the reason being is given his contracted status and any combination of options from a trade point of view. If we talk players, well, a lot of our players are contracted and happy in Sydney, so that makes it difficult at times to navigate. But at the same time, our view is we'll put forward some options that we think make sense for both parties, and we're pretty pragmatic about that. And at the end of the day, it's probably up to Carlton to determine whether it's good enough.
Mm.
So that's the first part there. I thought the bit around, you'd have to ask Charlie for his thoughts on why he wants to come to Sydney. I thought that was an interesting part that we haven't really heard too much of just yet. Carlton stance, we heard that yesterday. He'll be playing for the Blues in 2026. He'll be there for day one of preseason. This second part here is where it got a bit juicy because it started the way I listened to it. I'll get your thoughts. I thought it started revealing exactly how much Sydney really want him.
I mean, how much are you willing to give here? Because he's a significant difference maker. That's an obvious statement. Are you prepared to pay over perhaps what he's worth, knowing that if you get him going in your system, he could be the difference between top four or not?
Yeah, look, we understand that, Kane, but I suppose at the same time we need to also do what's best for our footy club, but we also understand that we have to provide something that satisfies them as well. And from my point of view, you're probably looking at the end of the day, you want to either improve on-field, off-field, or from a TPP sense or from a draft sense. So we understand that. We understand that we've got to come to the party in that sense, but we also need it to be mutually beneficial for both parties for it to go through.
We're with Sydney List Manager Chris Keane this morning. Chris, so I'm not even going to mention any specific names here because I get the sensitivity with that, but just philosophically for you, when it comes to Charlie Curnow, would high-caliber players have to be involved in any deal, or do you think you can get it done pulling another lever?
Oh, look, not necessarily. I think there's multiple options, and whether they're players from our clubs or opposition clubs or draft picks, what we look at is how we can satisfy Carlton and what makes sense for both parties in this. As I said, we'll try and remain pretty pragmatic in terms of what might get a deal done. We understand that both clubs have to walk away and feel like they've improved their list, both on and off field.
So I think a little bit of an admission there that whatever it's going to take, even if that means, and you heard towards the end of that clip there, even if that means getting the third club involved. So they're keen. Geelong seemed to be a bit of a front runner last week. I think Sydney have overtaken them now, which leads me to what happened really as soon as we finished the show last night. So we'll just unpack, what do we call it? Is it Instagram gate? So last night, it came to the world, or Australia's attention, not the world. No one really cares about this game apart from us in this country. But it came to the attention of the footy world that Charlie had followed the True Bloods podcast Instagram page. Shout out to the True Bloods podcast. They are the Sydney fan podcasts, one of the Sydney fan podcasts. I believe they're one of the premier Sydney fan channels podcast as well. So that was interesting. That caught the attention of the footy world pretty quickly. He has subsequently unfollowed that page. And there's a few factors here. So obviously the question is, was it Charlie? Was it somebody who runs Charlie's Instagram account? Whatever. The facts are, he was following the page. They made a post about it. Fair play. And then he unfollowed them. So I think that just added some sugar and spice into the story. Does it mean he's going to Sydney? I don't know. I mean, last week it was Bailey Smith tagging him in his story. So, he was going to Geelong last week. This week could be Sydney. I think it just adds to the theatre of the story, like whatever. Which brings me to my next point, and this is something that I didn't bring it up last night because I wanted to get through the state of play with all the trades. But Michael Voss on Best and Fairest Night made a comment which I'll play here, and I don't know if it ties into Charlie and the story with Charlie. It might. I'm going to play this video, and then I want to get your interpretation of what you think this means, and we'll go from there. So this was Voss on the culture and the resilience of our club.
After I lost to Collingwood at the MCG mid-year, I was the last to leave. I was walking back to my car and the stands were empty. The noise was gone, but the silence felt louder than the roar ever did. Driving home, I was left with my thoughts. It was the most humbling moment of my career, not just reflecting on the loss, but the heaviness we all carried together inside the locker room and outside in the stands. We, as a club, had culturally defeated ourselves. A former coach once said to me, "I can't always tell you what winning looks like, but I can definitely tell you what it doesn't look like. It doesn't look like blame or victimhood. It isn't anger disguised as passion or threats disguised as standards. And it isn't certainly about whinging about what's already happened. I could tell you what you'd like to hear tonight, but tonight it's what we all need to hear. Right now, we are not a very resilient football club."
All right. So when you heard that, if you were there on Sunday night, or if you watched the video, or if you just watched it live, whatever, whenever you heard that bit there, what is your interpretation? Like, what comes to mind? Hello, Luke. Charlie out. Ainsworth and Graham and or Humphrey in. $3. Thank you very much, mate. Tatum, this made me want to go back and watch the Pies game. Well, middle of the year, did he mean the second Pies game or the first one? There was that. Because the first one was when we had dropped to 0-4, I believe. Jen, kind of a pull your head in, potentially. He said out loud what we've all thought and felt for years. We're a mentally weak football club. Sam, you were there to dig at Charlie and Sauce. Joel, we're a basket case is what comes to mind. Well, yeah. Jimmy, he's talking to the players. Scott, you thought he lost the plot. Says, you think he's talking about the entire club, the board, the coaching staff, the players, and the fans? Mm-hmm. So did you, Malcolm. Thought he was talking about the whole club in its entirety, including us. Mm-hmm. Rocco, he meant harden the fuck up. Rob, hello, Afrim. Good on you, Voss. Unleash him. Woke mofos. Lou, was Voss referencing the big five families controlling the board? He sounded defeated. The coterie groups. This was an interesting theme on Sunday. There was maybe 2 or 3 awards that the coterie groups had nominated to give it out. I don't know if every club does this, but it was the table that I was on. We were asking the question around, does every club do that? Tatum's tantrum. I like Voss swinging at the fences. It sounded a lot more like Voss the player, premiership captain, etc., than it did Voss the coach. He's pleading for people to drop their egos. Explicit Empress. I think he's mostly reflecting on himself, talking about the whole club and the players too, but I think it's about the choices he has made to be more himself. Yeah. Okay. Afrim, you were saying, you meant to say checking out in June 2026. Okay. Luke, you were waiting for him to roll out the earn the right line. Yeah, there's been a bit of talk around the speech because I mean, we heard from Pommy last night as well. Like, on the one hand, it's great to hear the brutal truth, of course. On the other hand, it's why hasn't it been the brutal truth? On the one hand, it's great to hear Carlton first in, as many times as we can hear it. On the other hand, was it not Carlton first before we started saying Carlton first? And if so, why not? It's that perpetual cycle repeating again. So that was that. Moontide, you like the speech, but in the stands part confuses me. Jimmy, you thought it was direct to Charlie about his behavior on blaming everyone beside himself. Look in the mirror. Okay. Fair. Which brings me to my next part. Was there anybody at the BNF that I forgot to ask last night? Was there anyone there on Sunday night that heard whispers? Because whispers from the BNF should be a theme. It should have been a theme last night. From all conversations that I had, from what I gathered, it was, as I said, it was pretty clear on the inside that De Koning and Silvani were leaving, and they knew that from very early in the season. I mean, there's just almost this understanding that McGovern's just not going to be there. Nothing's come out officially. What we've heard officially is, we'll wait until the end of the trade period, see what plays out. But was anybody else at the BNF? And did you do some digging? Did you have conversations? Did you hear things? If so, you can use the chat right now to put them up. But the McGovern one is curious. It's almost like there just hasn't been an offer at all. Sam, you just won about Billy's jumper number. Love that. Walsh to captain the club in 2026. I saw this today. I think I saw this on Big Footy. Someone had posted that Walsh will be captain next year, and the source was Jacob Wiedering, which led me to believe that that was a conversation that had been had on Sunday night during the best and fairest. So, where are we? Carlton flag is, did he write it himself? Could have been club propagandized. What is club propagandized? What is the definition of that? Luke, you heard that Dill Buckley and Gorringe are vying for SSP. Okay. Wordy, wasn't the rumor that we would wait till after the trade period for negotiations with Gov? Yeah, that's how I thought. That's exactly how I was reading it as well and hearing it. But anyway, that was that. And then there was Harry Dean. So Harry Dean, it's a fresh video that's come out. I'm going to play you some highlights from young Harry Dean. Thanks to the great work of Footy Stuff. Well, firstly, let me put the link in the chat here. That's the link to the video. And I'm going to play you some highlights while I read some quotes. Harry Dean did an interview with Jonty Ralph-Smith from Zero Hanger. I'm going to read out some quotes and some musings from the young man himself while we watch some of his highlights. So as I said, interview with Zero Hanger. He's outlined a clear goal for himself. He's keen to play round one. Some of the quotes here. Obviously, my time will come, but I've set a goal to myself. I haven't really told many people, but I've told a few recruiters that I want to play round one next year. This was in his Craft of the Draft piece. Now, he's got a bit of a shoulder issue, which is getting fixed. He touched on it. Once the shoulder is fixed, Going to get into many sessions as I can, work hard, obviously get feedback from the coaches to see what I need to do to play round one, and just follow the program and keep the grind up and see how everything goes. And hopefully I'll be playing round one. This year, a few of these games, especially the game against Vic Metro, is the one where there was probably the realization that I could step at the level. I'm not saying it was easy, but I just felt that I was pretty comfortable and that I was one of the better players on that day. And then I thought that I could probably take this to the next level and go against men. So his coach has provided some quotes in this article as well. Said Harry got better with every game he played. This is his Vic Country coach, Rhett McLennan. He's made for that role at a higher level. I think he fits really well in a system and will drive standards. He looks like he's ready to roll for AFL football right now. There were some other quotes here. Harry reflecting on himself. Last year gave me a lot of spare time. I wanted to change the habits and the ways I went about my football, starting with my recovery, diet, on and off the field, warm-ups. So I set myself up for preseason. I came back and did gym and extra running sessions to bank up for that, and then work towards a schedule and a plan throughout the year with my 3 gyms, my runnings, training through the week, recovery, and then game day preparation as well to get every consistent game I have this year. So, yeah, just one that we're going to start talking about soon. You know, he's potentially going to be at the club in about a month's time. Well, a little over a month. The draft is on the 19th of November. So this is one that we need to start thinking about. Harry Dean, and we were following him throughout the year. We were watching his highlights as the year went on during the team shows. And I remember people commenting at the time, every time we'd watch him, that we were watching the improvement. I mean, thanks to this channel, Footy Stuff, we were able to keep track of his development. So this is one to keep an eye out for. We'll just finish off his highlights here. Maybe I'll... And so that's Harry Dean. Stay tuned, because we will be talking about him a lot more over the next 5 to 6 weeks. Now, that's the crux of the updates for today. I'm going to turn to you now. If anybody wants to call in, share your thoughts on anything that you've seen today, yesterday, or just whatever's on your mind, there's the link to call in. It's in the live chat right now. We'll start with Joel. Hello,
hey,
mate.
Terry. Hey, mate. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm well too. Yeah, a bit has come across my mind and my desk today in regards to Carlton.
Right.
I'll start with Ainsworth. I believe he will be in a Carlton jumper.
Really?
No surprise. Yeah. So yeah, get Chat's view on that.
As in, you're just confident that that's going to happen?
I've been told by a source that he will. It's done. Pretty much just got to. Yeah, he's coming to Carlton, but as a trade. So
okay.
I'm happy. I think he's a good player. So yeah, just not sure of the deal yet. But so I can't exactly get the specifics. But I mean, it's been reported. It's been talked about. So it's not out of the blue.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm glad I did a video on him today. Did the deep dive on him.
Okay. Good. So yeah, I was wondering if you. I caught the Voss thing live. I was watching it at home, the live feed from the BNF.
Yeah.
And it's definitely raised my eyebrows around his rhetoric, his commentary. Yeah, and also even the president talking, it felt like they were very aware of disgruntled fan base, which they definitely made that very clear. Did you get that from that? The club was really hurting, and they didn't try and cover anything up in regards to the way in which the year was, debacle. And
well, what I noticed, I mean, we've heard Voss's speech, but what I definitely noticed about Rob Priestley's speech, he made sure to add the bit in there around we're a business, not a football club, because he slipped up in the past on that one,
which he did with your interview.
Yeah. Sorry, he made sure to say that we're a football club, not a business. There you go, the slip up. So yeah, I did notice that. To be honest, a lot of it was pretty vanilla. I thought Voss was pretty pointed though, which I didn't mind hearing. Somebody wrote a comment in one of the videos earlier today. They had watched Sam Mitchell's press conference. Now, I've only seen snippets of Sam Mitchell's press conference, but they were talking about just a real difference, like a stark difference between the two. So, yeah, it's just hard because they can say the best words possible. It doesn't really mean much until we see it.
No. Correct. I was listening to the Tradies podcast? Yes.
Yep.
With Mitch Cleary and Sam McClure. And they talked about Charlie, and they said they were both at the BNF, and they had some goss, and then they didn't get to it, I think, unless I missed it. I don't know if you've seen that podcast yet. Today's. Yeah, they said they had some news regarding some whispers that they heard and I don't know. I just couldn't, unless they have a part two. But yeah, they definitely said they had some goss regarding unless they just, they definitely said it because I'm not making up. But they never got to what I couldn't see. Sorry, I didn't hear, let me just call it, take that phone off. Yeah. So I don't know. I think, you were sort of, earlier in the chat, you were getting you alluded to something maybe happening at the BNF, and
I was just seeing if anybody who was at the BNF had any whispers that they had come across, because I know a lot of people were asking questions of everyone around.
Yeah. Well, you were there. I mean, but now
I was there. I was definitely there. I was seated back row, mate. Back row bandit, table 100, as far away from the stage as possible.
Yeah, what else do I have to say? McKay, Harry McKay. Now, not a fan of Harry McKay, it's obvious. I don't. Yeah. So I just want to explain. I just think, he.
So let me just set this up because this is a conversation that you and I have had, but we're bringing it out here. So your view is that we should, if we're going to lose Charlie, we may as well lose Harry as well, and just restructure the whole forward line.
Yeah, I'd go. I'd prune that deeply.
So who's the forward? As in, do you think? Yeah.
Well, I've never been. Yeah. Well, look, there are some caveats. I mean, if you can. We know that Harry had a tough year, and I just don't know what the circumstances were around his absence. So in my, and I know it's a touchy subject, mental health, but I'm just talking about his availability for next year. If he's going to be a liability, well, let's try and get something. If it's the mental health, if Carlton is causing him stress, then it's best for us and him to get the hell out of there. Agreed?
But for who?
No, I'm saying if he's going to miss games again, like he did this year, now then I'm saying if he's gonna miss games, and we want him to play. We want him to play and play well, and I'm just saying if that means him going elsewhere, then I'm happy to see him play elsewhere and us get something in return. Unless we improve our culture and he can turn it around, and I think that's the unknown, and whether we just have to wait a year and see if we can get our culture and he can perform again. So be it. But I'm also saying, well, if we can bite the bullet and get a forward in return.
Like who?
Well, yeah. Look, I mean,
I think it's really easy. I mean, we can all pinpoint the problem, but very rarely does the conversation start from like the solution. So like, if you think you're not sure if
Well, I don't know. I mean, is Logan McDonald happy in Sydney? He's an Australian. He's a Victorian boy, isn't he? I don't know. There's one. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just answering your question. I mean, yeah. I'm sure. I haven't thought of too much. I know. I get your point. I'm just saying that I wouldn't mention it if I didn't think that.
No, I get you. Well, look, with what we know with certainty is that this year there was an unstable culture. The coach just admitted it.
Of course. Yeah.
Culturally defeated. He was already thinking about that mid-year. You've got players that were half in, half out. Now, did that play a part in Harry's happiness at the Carlton Football Club? I don't know. We heard Harry talk about what happened early in the year when he eventually returned to his own podcast, that he was. Everything in his life was fine, but he just wasn't feeling good. Now, I don't know if we'll ever truly know what happened until he's retired. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if a deal with Sydney is feasible because they're going to look. I mean, they're after Charlie, so
Well, I just think you'll go to Geelong. That's my. If people say, "Well, how's he going to get to Geelong?" Well, I'd say, well, again, if there's a will, there's a way, especially with Geelong. So yeah, I mean, have I thought about this thoroughly? No, I don't have the time. But it's just, hey, I'm allowed to say stuff. So so that's where I stand with McKay. And we did discuss today earlier, Terry, with interesting to see what chat feels on the other Hollands boy, as in I'm not talking
Elijah.
about Ollie, I'm talking about Elijah. Yes.
What about him?
Well, I mean, they've asked media have asked Chris Davies on whether he could stay, and Chris didn't really answer that. And I'm just thinking, well, maybe does he stay or does he definitely go? What happened with Elijah? Is there?
Well, we touched on this yesterday. So I don't know if you were watching yesterday. We touched on it yesterday. Basically, they're going to wait for offers to come for him, is what it seems like. And if there's no offer, then they'll reassess there. I think that was the update we had yesterday. Mm.
All right. And then there's there's some. I think we've got to clean up our act. There's still some players. The McGovern thing. Apparently, he's I don't know, unhappy, and well, who can blame him? Maybe he's not signed, but then there's arguments to and for and against. I wouldn't be unhappy if he left, and Akers is the same because he was seen with Tom de Koning and had an average year himself. Maybe he's not happy at the club. I just see also, and I mean, I think we're on the same page, and everyone is on the chat, that Charlie has to go. If he stays, he's a liability because he's just, he'll drop his bottom lip, and we don't want that. So I don't think that the club has that much of too much of an upper hand in regards to bargaining power with Charlie. I just don't think that we might get the deal that we expect.
No, I think at the end of the day, the offers need to come to Carlton. We just wait for the offers to come and sound them out.
Yeah.
Where do you sit in the conversation of him returning if the right offer is not made?
Oh, well, I want him gone, and I'd take. I mean, I think we'll get a. Well, yeah, it's subjective as to, I think we could get. Depends where he goes. If he does go to Sydney, then they've probably got a bit more to trade with, and Hayward's been talked about, and also Hayward and Rowbottom,
and first round picks. Yeah.
And so I don't think we're going to get any of those, the Gouldens and the Warners and the Heaney's. So look, bottom line is, I think we have I go back to fan cams and I said, halfway through the year we need I even said rebuild, because I think we're in that much of a dire straits. So lots of pruning required, I think.
Love it. All right, well, sit tight. Updates to come.
Yeah. Cheers. Bye.
All right, mate. See you, Joel. All righty. I'll put the link in one more time. If there's anybody else that wants to call in, feel free. Vince, I think you're in the green room. Are you there? Vince.
Oh, hey, can you see me?
Yeah. What do you got for me, mate? What's happening?
Mate, I can't agree with what the last person said. Get Harry and Charlie out. Come off it. We need one tall. I think, anyway, my opinion. I wanted to talk about the last conversation we had about the psychiatrist.
The club psychologist?
Yeah.
Yep.
I wouldn't be putting too much on that person, he or she, don't know. But how hard would it be to work for Carlton? Seriously.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be boring, that's for sure.
Fuck no. But still, you can't put. Last year we put the endurance team on the stool and said, nah, they're gone. This year we're going to go psychologists and psychiatrists and whatnot. Again, they're gone. That's bullshit.
Wait, who's gone? Psychologists are gone? He's gone?
Not yet.
You're saying that the club psychologist will be gone?
Possibly.
Okay.
And I don't agree.
Gotcha.
Okay, it's...
So when you say gone, you mean not replaced?
No, replaced.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can't agree with kicking people and saying that they're the problem when the clear problem comes from the top.
Right. Yeah, well, fair. I wasn't aware that there'd be changes to the club psychologist, but we'll wait and see.
There may be. We'll see.
Okay.
But just a shout out to my cousins, Vince Alessandrino and Anthony Alessandrino, as well as Lou Felino.
Okay.
Great supporters.
Yep.
But
Great guys.
yeah,
all right.
they are.
Anything else, Vince?
Yes, one more thing. Sam Walsh is going nowhere.
Captain of the club.
I know that for a fact.
You know that for a fact. Sam Walsh is going nowhere, mate. Vince, I love it with the scoops.
I live in the southwest. I live next to his uncle and that. I can tell you right now, he's going nowhere.
I'll take your word for it.
All right, peace up. Go Blues.
Love your work, Vince. See you, mate.
Thanks.
Mate, Vince with the scoops. Club psychologist and potentially being replaced. And Walshy sticking around. All right. One more. Only Motlop. Only Carlton.
That's it. I was going to change my name to only Charlie Curnow hater, but I kind of forgot. Not going to lie. Terry, the fate of the Carlton Football Club hangs in the balance. I'm telling you right now, Charlie Curnow cannot stay at this club. He cannot stay at this club. There's no way we're going to allow him to stay at the club when he's been running around twerking with fucking Geelong players. All right, that's not going to happen. He cannot stay. Bro, I can't stress this enough. I will take unders to get rid of him. Not crazy unders. I'm not taking pick 40, but I will take Hayward and a first round pick. I'll take Hayward first swap, like straight swap. Right? My definition of worth for Curnow is like, I reckon if it's Sydney, it's Hayward, Florent, and a first rounder. Right? But I will take unders. I will take unders because I don't think people. And you're gonna say something. I'm sorry, but let me just finish this point. People were saying, Petrarca wanted to leave last year, and this year he had a good year. That's great. I don't trust Charlie Curnow to do that. I don't think he's enough of a professional.
It's clear he's just keen to get out.
He wants to leave, and we just have to let him.
Did you see what happened after the show last night?
No.
How he followed one of the Sydney fan podcasts.
Of course he fucking did. I'm not even surprised. What?
Are you not across this?
No. He
Amazing.
did fucking what? Who did he follow?
He followed True Bloods. Shout out True Bloods podcast.
Yeah.
The Sydney.
Yeah,
so he followed them, and then today he's unfollowed them because it started getting attention in the news.
Yeah, sick. He needs to go. He needs to go. He can't stay.
Yeah.
He's done enough. Like, I love him. He's a star player and everything. But if he doesn't want to be here, I'm not having another year where he's going to, sook and moan and not be 100% in. That's not what this club needs right now. It's the last thing we need. Having him around, I would argue, does more harm than good.
I guess it just depends. I don't think you can take. I mean, I can understand cut your losses, maybe take a deal that's less than what you think you could have gotten, and just get rid of a guy that doesn't want to be there. Sure, but also you don't let that type of asset go losing too much. We're going to lose out anyway. We're not going to be replacing him with a player that's better than him. But I think there's levels to it. It's business. It's strictly business now.
It is, right? And I agree. But again, I get he's a star player and I get, he has incredible value. But what good does that do us if he's not going to be that star player for us?
I think he can be a lot better than what he was this year with no surgeries, just as a starting point. Now, does he have the minerals to fight it out? And has he got the resilience to give in and do the team thing and buy in and do all these things. I don't know. He hasn't shown
That's the part
too
I'm
much.
questioning.
Yeah.
That's the part. That's pretty much all I had to say. I just wanted to come on here and talk shit about Curnow.
No, I appreciate it. Mate, see you tomorrow.
See you, bro.
See you, man. All right. Finally, we have Tolls. Hello, mate.
Hi. How are we doing?
Good, mate. What's on your mind? What have you got for me?
I think Charlie Curnow is more of an opportunity than it seems. I think, I agree. It's not looking great for Curnow, but we can't just let him go for free. I think he's still Charlie Curnow.
Yeah.
We need to play, if we, if he wants to leave, we need to play hardball with some of these teams and get our money's worth with him, because he's still a three-time, I cannot remember at this point. Two-time Coleman medalist. We can get something for this at the very least. But
no doubt. Well, I think we are doing. I think Carlton are holding firm in the whole.
And I think that's most of the most of what is actually happening when they say, "Yeah, no, Charlie's not going anywhere. He's going to be a Blue for 2026." No, and you've kind of seen that from pretty much all of the big name trade rumors from every club, like saying, "Yeah, no, Zach Butters not going anywhere." Start of before the end of the season, yeah, no, TDK's not going anywhere. Jack Silvani's not going anywhere. You saw how that went. But until there's ink on paper, talk is cheap,
What about Liam Reidy?
Liam Reidy, I am very happy with. We got him basically for free in terms of trades. It was like, what, 3 or 4 picks back? I think we traded 41 for 40. That's and then another one for a bit further back. I can't quite remember, but that's very good pick. He looks really impressive, and he's that kind of player that we need. We need just middle of the middle of the pack that
like a
have,
soldier.
Yeah, huge potential. Exactly. I mean, it goes without saying what we got out of Frank the Tank last year.
Yeah.
Bloody oath.
Yeah.
That all the big names haven't really done much for it. We've gotten the most mileage out of the free agents, it seems.
Yep.
Speaking of, I think if we're talking about Sam Walsh captaincy, I think another thing we need for next year, I've forgotten his name. The giant defender that we got last year, Nick Haynes. That's him. Nick Haynes in the leadership team next year. He was already doing it end of last year.
I'm not opposed at all. Yeah,
that's the kind of caliber of leadership that we need for next year, and I think, despite everything, I think this trade cycle has not been so much of an unmitigated disaster. I am cautiously optimistic for this.
Okay.
Because, I mean, we're getting Harry Dean in. We will eventually get, what's his name? The rookie that did his knee in the middle of last year.
Jagger Smith? Start of this year?
Yeah, of course, Jagger Smith. But the other one, son of the team lawyer.
Harry O'Farrell.
O'Farrell, yeah. The kids are all right. I think we are looking very good on the rookie and development side for a while. We're also getting, Lockie Cowan is developing from a strong rising star to just a good footballer. Same as Ollie Hollands. God damn it, get Ollie Hollands out of the goddamn back lane. We need to find a replacement for, because Ollie Hollands is great at what he does in the back line, but he could be so much more. Like so much more than that. But I am chomping at the bit to see Liam Reidy tap to Cripps, handball to Walsh, handball to Jagger, and 2-bounce goal. You know, like,
mate,
I cannot wait to see Jagger in blue.
What we need is next Wednesday to come and go, and trade period to be over.
Bloody hell.
And then we have absolute certainty. We have more certainty on who's going to be around next year, and then we can go to the draft, and we pretty much know our targets in the draft, and away we go.
Yep.
I think that's going to
bounce the ball, mate. Then after that, it's just bounce the ball.
Well, after that, then all we need is to get through Christmas unscathed. Then all we need is to get through January and Sam Walsh to not be doing deadlifts. Then after that, we need everyone to just lay down and not get hurt in February. And then we need 0 on the injury list, March.
Yep. Then Cripps is going to inexplicably lose 7 vertebrae sleeping.
All right. Tolls, thanks for calling in, my friend.
Yeah, no worries.
See you, mate. All right. Let's wrap it up. That has been day 2. So just to recap very quickly, Liam Reidy is a blue officially. Liam Reidy, pick 53 and pick 71 come to Carlton in exchange for pick 50 and 68. Sydney have made it public that they're willing to do almost whatever it takes to get Charlie to their club, including bringing in another club to the deal. And yeah, those are the main things. Harry Dean's ready to play AFL football. And away we go. I will see you all tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. for day 3. Take care, guys. Go Blues.